94, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hello.
Hola.
Bonjour.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao.
Ciao.
안녕하세요.
Mabuhay.
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights. Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words, come home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INCRadio Seattle, Washington.
Hello to everyone tuning in from all over the world, mainly the District of Washington State. My name is Sister Jenny Martinez. I am from the local congregation of Seattle, and I will be your host today for INCRadio Seattle. So happy to be here today. I haven't been here in a while, so I'm excited to spend today with you guys. Anyways, we have an exciting topic. Our topic is called Too Blessed to Stress. So our guest, who you will be meeting here shortly, she's here today. She's going to talk about her experience and how she manages stress. So if you are interested in how to manage your stress, please keep watching because she's a great guest. You'll recognize her, don't worry. Anyways, we have our local hashtag winners. And if you're not already familiar, which I hope you are, every weekend we have hashtag winners, which means we ask the congregations in the District of Washington State to please hashtag which local that they are from in the live chat, and then we'll count how many hashtags there are, and whichever local hashtags they're local the most will then be placed as the third or second or the first winner. So anyways, we have those winners here today. In third place, we have the local congregation of Seattle. Congratulations, Seattle, the local that I'm from. And then in second place, we have the local congregation of Everett. Thank you for the claps. In first place, we have the local congregation of Marysville. Claps make me laugh so much. Okay, so not only do we have our local hashtag winners, but we also have our top brethren in the district. Not in the district, but I guess on our show. And what this means is the brethren here in the District of Washington State, whoever is the most active in the live chat, as in you're hashtagging the local that you're from, you're having conversation in the live chat, we then give recognition to that. And anyways, we have 3 winners today that we recognize as the most active in the live chat. In third place, we have Sister Melody Maravilla from Marysville. Just so you guys know, we practice the pronunciation of these names, so I'm hoping I don't mess up, but if I do, I apologize. Second place, we have Sister Isabel Forbes from the local congregation of Everett. Represent. And then in first place, we have our sister Mira Gagira from Marysville. Brother Andrew, did I pronounce that right?
Yes, sister.
Yay! Thank you, Brother Andrew. Okay, now the exciting time has come to introduce our guest who is here. Take it away, Sister Dundon.
Take it away. Hi, Sister Jenny. Hi, Brother Andrew. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the INCRadio broadcast today. Super stoked about the topic, too blessed to be stressed. But yes, I am Sister Dundon, and I'm from the local of Kent. Can't stop, won't stop. Yay, we're at the class for me. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm very happy to be here, Sister Jenny.
Thank you so much, Sister Denden, and we're happy to have you here as always. Okay, so we want to ask a question to those who are watching. We want to know, how do you like to practice self-care? Please let us know in the live chat, and we'll go ahead and read your comments during our show. All right. We'd also like to remind you to please not to forget to subscribe to our channel. I think you should, if you're watching on YouTube, you should see a subscribe button somewhere. Just press that button that is somewhere, and then you'll be subscribed. Anyways, we're ready to move on to our topic. Sister Denden, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Can't stop, won't stop. All right. First of all, Sister Denden, what is stress and what does stress feel like for you?
Stress, to me, how I define stress is something that will either make you feel defeated, make you feel frustrated, will hit all of the negative emotions. That's how you can define stress. However, it is all perspective, right? So there is that bad type of stress that can negatively affect your physiology and psychology, or your psychic, or your, you know what I'm saying, your mental health, well-being. And then there's that good stress called eustress. And for me, how I look at that is whatever that you're excited about, whatever that you like doing. So, for example, you're a secretary of the INC and you just love the job, but you know it comes with some stress. But that to me is called eustress, EU stress. And that it's just a natural feeling, right? Because you're trying to meet deadlines, but bottom line, you know that you're doing it because it's your love. It's what you want to do. And you know that it comes with the territory, right? So it's how it's going to allow you think about the outcome and how it's going to leave you feeling. So there is that negative stress, and then there's that eustress. So hopefully everyone can eventually divide the stress and hopefully have a perspective to where it all becomes eustress. And there's so much more to elaborate on that. But I know that you have other questions, Sister Jenny.
No, I actually love that. And I don't think I've ever put it in that kind of perspective. So that's actually quite amazing that you mentioned that. So how about for you right now? Would you say that you're experiencing more of the positive stress or the negative stress?
Positive stress. And even when it comes to my job, like, if I can be just completely transparent with you, Sister Jenny, and everyone that is watching, like my whole life, I feel, at least the last few years for sure, is like my job or my duties. There's always something where it's testing and unfolding my weaknesses. I have a lot of weaknesses and I do have some strengths. And so knowing that I have these weaknesses, it's natural for people to feel like stressed out, right? But for myself, and there's a lot of you also that feel the same way, you're excited to learn, right? You're excited to better yourself. You are excited to fail forward. And that is my perspective. So whenever it comes where I'm not getting things right or I can't figure it out, I'm just so willing and eager to learn how to do it right and to just grow from there. So I want to say, with God's help, of course, the stress in my life, it's all eustress, and it doesn't matter. Like, I might look frustrated. The only time where I look like the bad stress is if I'm hungry. Like, I get hangry and it doesn't matter what the situation is. I would look like super stressed out and you would not want to be around that energy. But otherwise, everything is, for me, more on the eustress side of things.
That's great, actually, because if you think about it, if the only time you see you stressed out is when you're hangry, that's like still good because it means that we're on the path to go to eat.
Yeah.
So great food. Okay, so I know you did mention like um some things, like some examples of what negative stress is. But to get to the bottom of our topic, can you share with us a recent stressful experience?
Sure. Sister
Pretty
Jenny.
deep.
Yeah. So let me get your help. Do you want it to be like professional, like work related, family, or personal? Can you choose for me?
Hmm. Let's ask Brother Andrew. What do you think, Brother Andrew?
Let's talk about family related.
Okay.
Family related, like husband and wife. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so family related. Truthfully, stress in the family, it's so like right now, and I just really thank God for it. There's not too many things to stress about with my family life right now, you know? And I think partly because we are all active in our duties and we're definitely feeling the blessings. But the little things that have stressed me out before, and I'm just going to narrow it down to like marriage. I love Cut Jacob, right? He my husband. But some things that you learn to deal with. So, for example, let's just say like when you're done eating or done drinking from your cup and you don't put it away, like those are the little things that used to stress me out, and it could actually elevate because then you start to think about all the other little things that may stress you out, and that was just like the thing that nudged you. And so how I handle that is, you know what? I already know this about Jacob. Like, and then I think about how he cooks every day. I think about all of the good things about him, and I'm just like at peace. Like, okay, it's fine. I'll put away the thing or whatever. Yes, you forgot to put your socks in the hamper. It's all good. Like, I'm not gonna stress about it anymore because why? He cooks every day, and there's a lot of other things that he does, and so I just take care of it. And then when I about my girls, Josiah and Nineveh, let's say we're at home, and like if like in your mind you have this whole to-do list, like you want to clean the house from top to bottom. You have your own set of expectations on how things should look like after you clean, right? So you have this list in your head for moms, right? Especially for the moms. And then so you got your to do, you got to clean, and then if you see your family just chilling and just watching TV, playing or whatever, it kind of stresses you out, right? Because why are they hanging out when we have all this stuff to do? So how do I mitigate my stress at that moment? I think to myself, well, this is my to-do list, right? And if I want my family to be part of my to-do list, I have to involve them. They need to be clear on what the game plan is for the day. If I haven't done that, then who am I to stress on it? They don't know. Do you know what I mean? So after I stop to think about that, I'm like, then I go to my family. I'm like, hey, do you guys have a plan today? Can you help me with this? I involve them that way. And so by doing that, it lessens the stress and the frustration. Because really, the only time, if you think about it for yourself, the only time that you are stressed out is when things are not going your way, right? There's an interruption in your agenda. That's one of the main reasons why those are some of the causes, one cause of stress. And another cause of stress too is like at home with your family. The things that stress you out at home are the things that you're not doing, if that makes sense. Like if you really think about it, like for example, the lawn, there's so much to do outside. And in my mind, I think that's Jacob's responsibility, but then again, I think he does so much in the house. So maybe I need to be more involved outside the house, you know? But those are just some examples, and they're really like simple and minor, but it's an everyday kind of thing. Brother Andrew and Sister Jenny, did that make sense? I'm sorry. Is that making sense?
No, you totally make sense. I feel like, now that I'm married, been married since like what, 2 years now. I relate to that. It is a lot of, I feel like, my husband and I, we both do a lot in the house. And then if there's like one thing that's like misplaced or something, like a habit that my husband tends to do. He leaves the lights on all the time. Like he forgets to turn them off. And it's so funny because when he lived back in London, he would always turn them off. But all of a sudden, when he comes to America, he decides to leave them on. But um, and then yeah, I'm like reminding him all the time. But then it's so easy for me to not get angry about it or like stressed out because, even though he forgets to turn off the light, between he and I'm really messy. I'm the messy one, So it really is about like, appreciating what the other person is doing and not always focusing on what they're not doing. And even if there's things that they're not doing, what is important, like what Sister Denden was pretty much saying earlier, is the communication. It's once you have communication there and you guys can establish that, then the stress is gone, And yes, even though there's still going to be mistakes here and there that happens because we're just human anyways. Um, but it's just, as long as we're patient with one another and we are always trying to do our best to consider each other, then we're going to be too blessed to stress, So I totally relate, Sister Denden. But anyways, talking about your husband, it's so funny because he actually left a comment. I guess to our question that we asked earlier, how do you like to practice self-care? He says, the way he practices self-care is by praying and sleeping. That's his response. I don't know if you're surprised by that. But okay, let's actually, since we're not surprised, yeah. Let me go ahead and read a few of our comments really quick. We also have a response from Sister El Riza Gilmore. From Everett, she says, now that spring break is underway, my self-care for the moment is catching up on my favorite shows and snacking with salt and vinegar chips. I love salt and vinegar chips. Thank you for that response. From Sister Candice Mills, she says, self-care, be prayerful and ask God to guide you on the right path, #Tacoma. Sister Blessing, she says, taking good care of myself, making time for what's important, walking in beautiful settings, eating the foods that make me feel better, and connecting with loved ones, including the Lord. That's such an amazing answer. I always try to figure out how I can find my way back to that, as in like just enjoying nature and just living. Sister Ivy Morden, she says self-care, prioritizing my emotional and mental well-being by limiting contact or creating distance from those who negatively impact my life. Wow, Sister Ivy, that's really good advice actually. Yes, keep away from anything that's negative. Um, Bring it back to you, Sister Denden, because I know we only have like a few minutes left on our show. I want to ask you actually this question. I was looking over it and I was like, this is a nice question. What is one favorite way that always helps you feel calm and centered no matter how stressful things get?
That is a great question, a deep one. So what makes me feel like calm and centered during a stressful situation? Was that in a nutshell what you just asked? It was a lengthy one. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you got it right. What's one favorite way that always helps you feel calm and centered no matter how stressful things get? Yeah.
Yes. Knowing that God's got me. Yep. Simple. That's
Simple.
it. God's got me. There's nothing to worry about. As long as you do your part in trying to be prepared for every moment and at every part of your day, then that's it. Like you're calm. You've done your part, you've prayed, and however the day goes, like every moment, every engagement at work, at home, at school, wherever, just know that every single experience is for you. It is an opportunity for you to grow. It's an opportunity for you to smile, to laugh, to learn from it. And so that helps me keep calm and centered, even if I'm dealing with a frustrated patient at work or being around being around people that feel overwhelmed. I look at that like I try to be that calm energy, not for myself, but for those around me. And Sister Jen, if I may, there are like 3 things that I do to help manage stress. And I would like to leave that with you guys. One is to pray and to take deep breaths, right? So you see the spiritual advantage of praying, and then the physical benefits of actually taking deep breaths. There's a reason why you have to take deep breaths, right? Because when you focus on making sure you're taking deep breaths, and then that oxygen in your brain will recalibrate. The oxygen helps the brain recalibrate and get you refocused. So I like to do that, pray. And then the second one too is I think, what is it that's stressing me out right now? Is it something is it me? Like, is it my system? Is it my habit that's causing this stress? What do I need to do to change it? Right. So I do, like, in a moment, you think about, I think about all these things, right? And then the third, you make an action plan and you just do it. Right. So those are the three things. I pray, take deep breaths, then I assess, create a plan, right? And then third, just do it. Take action, right? And you have to bring everything or put everything that's in your head on paper. There is a reason for that. Y'all need to look it up and read up on that, okay? Because the moment you put things on your paper or in your journal, in your planner, you don't have to worry about keeping it in your head, like organized in your head. All you need to tell yourself and remind yourself is to just look at your to-do, look at your planner, look at your journal, because you know that you took the time already to make a plan. You don't have to reinvent, you don't have to redo anything in your head, right? And that saves a lot of brain space. And we need the brain space to allow ourselves to really stop and smell the roses. We're not stressing out about what I got to do next, what I got to do. You already know what to do, so that whenever you meet someone like today, like Sister Jenny, Brother Andrew, Sister Kate, Sister Blessing, and all of you viewers, I get to be present, right? I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do next. Because after this show, I'm just going to look at my to-do and I'm just going to pick up from where I started or where I left off before the show. I don't have to worry about things. And, one thing, I'm sorry, I know time is very valuable. There's one thing that I read online. In fact, it was from one of these sisters from California that I really look up to. She's such a positive influence to everybody. She got her stuff together. And she posted something that hit home and resonated in a way that I never thought would. This was a couple years ago. She said, or it said, "You're not overwhelmed. You're just not organized." Right? So
Yes.
that comes with everything. How do you process things? Right? You got to have this system. You know what I'm saying? And be consistent with it. And I'm learning so much now that, at my job, at church, my personal life, my personal systems. I was like, man, she right. And I stopped to think about my stressors is because it ain't organized. I need to have a system. So that's one way, brethren and viewers, is just have a system in place, know your why, and know that everything is for you and not against you. You know what I mean? And there's always opportunity to grow. So you don't need to stress because you're too blessed. You know what I'm saying? We are too blessed to stress. Sorry, the lights turned off. The secretary.
I love that. You're totally fine. Yeah, no, that's great. And it is true what you said, because like I have a bad habit of procrastination. And I know sometimes it won't seem like it, but even in our local of Seattle, sometimes we get so busy with activities, and it's a great blessing to be busy with activities. But I have a tendency to procrastinate on some of the things that I'm leading. Brother Andrew, you probably don't even know that, but sometimes when I do lead activities, I procrastinate. And then when it's probably 5 days before the activity is when I actually start stressing. And it's true. When I did used to make a to-do list, and I just followed that, I didn't even have to think about it because I already had a to-do list. It's true. So much stress just leaves. but then when you are already like at that point where you're overwhelmed with a lot of things to do and you don't even have it on the list, and you do start to get stressed, because that's how I end up feeling, like like a few days before something happens, and so it is something that I need to work on, and like something that hopefully all of our viewers can take away from something that from everything that you've shared with us. So thank you so much, Sister Denden, for giving that great reminder. You're not overwhelmed, you're just not organized, right? That's what you said. That's a good, great, and positive way to look at it, Brethren. And it's not negative, it's actually really positive. It's just kind of like a guideline to showing you where to start, So thank you again, Sister Dundon. We're going to go ahead and bring it to Brother Andrew with everything that's happening in our district. Take it away, Brother Andrew.
Sounds good, Sister Jenny. So my name is Brother Andrew Santa Monica from the local of Seattle, here to give you everything in our district, our future activities. For tomorrow, we have our Christian Brotherhood International, or CBI, Quarterly General Assembly at 4 p.m. at the Seattle Chapel Function Hall. Are you feeling stressed about school life balance, time management? Well, that activity might be for you, for all the students here in our district. That will be included in the General Assembly, again in the Seattle Chapel Function Hall tomorrow at 4 p.m. And for Friday, on March 28th, there is a Christian family organization e-games. They will be playing Valorant, not sponsored by Valorant, but it will be on WebEx at 6 p.m. The deadline to register is on March 24th. For March 29 and 30, the children's worship service, those who are the children in our district, they have a talent show in each local congregation. So check in with your local congregation for next weekend so that your beloved children will be able to show their talents for our upcoming projects in our district. And then on March 30th, which is not tomorrow, but next Sunday, there will be a Mr. and Mrs. Chef activity in the Seattle Chapel Function Hall at 5 p.m. For the weather in Seattle, right now it's 51 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a bit cloudy, but even though it may be cloudy, it is getting a little warmer. It will rain, however, Sunday through Friday, but I'm really fortunate to have good weather that it's a little warmer than the usual cold, snowy days. So it's dress a little lighter, but be prepared for the rain that might follow. Thank you, everyone. Back to Sister Jenny.
Thank you so much, Brother Andrew. So yes, here in Seattle, you never know what kind of weather we're going to have. It's cloudy right now, but like you said, it's getting kind of warm. So anyways, again, thank you to our guest who was here, Sister Denden. Thank you so much, Brother Andrew. On behalf of INCRadio Seattle, we'd also like to give a huge thank you to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. We'd also like to thank our Subsidy President and overall CFO Overseer, Brother Angelo Manalo. We'd also like to thank our District Minister of Washington State, Brother Ramil Regino. Thank you to our Assistant District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera, to our CFO Overseer, Brother Chris Valdez, and our Executive Producer, Brother Manly Andaya, and of course to all of you, the listeners. And lastly, but not the least, thank you to our INCRadio Tech crew. It is because of all of you that we get to do this every Saturday and get to connect with those from all over the world. Thank you so very much from INCRadio Seattle. We'll see you later.